Happy Thursday, Vancouver. It is Thursday, November the 28th, which means it's less than 1 month until Christmas. Egads! And this is Terminal City News. So I realized last week when I set up that rap contest, asking you guys for a BC Ferries breakdown, BC Ferries breakdown, beatdown, BC Ferries beatdown, breakdown. When I asked everyone to submit for that, I only gave you guys a week. Now, I've heard that a few people, I have actually legitimately heard that at least one person, I should say, is going to be submitting something to our contest, but a week must not have been enough time. For that, I am sorry. And there's also some of you out there who are like, yeah, but I mean, what's in it for me besides all the fame and glory that comes with being shown on Terminal City News and possibly seeing my my video hand-delivered to BC Ferries? So I'm going to spice it up a little. I'm giving you to the end of December to submit to admin@nshgfilms.com. Submit there your video, or this is going onto YouTube, make a video response. Submit. You have until the end of December, and the winner gets $100. $100 featured on here. And you know what? I'm going to go and I'm sending it to BC Ferries. What's not to love? You know, if it's just you sitting in a chair in front of the computer, spilling out some rhymes, you know, all webcam-like, hey, I'll take it. We'll take it. We'll take a look at it. Come on. What have you got to lose? The answer is nothing. I'm not entering because I cannot rap. A motion that was brought before the Burnaby City Council was rejected, and that motion was a ban on selling pets in Burnaby pet stores. Now, interestingly enough, the City Council said, look, we understand your rationale behind it. You know, there are a lot of puppy mills out there, Pet Habitat, and the like, don't have a good reputation when it comes to where they get their animals from, but we can't regulate that, you know, what happens outside of Burnaby, just what happens in the Burnaby pet stores. So there are a bunch of new regulations that are being passed down. Included in those regulations are that there are no turtles that will be allowed to be sold in Burnaby pet stores. That's right, no turtles whatsoever. And every rabbit that is sold through a Burnaby pet store must be sterilized, which makes sense because we know what happened to Australia. Do we want that to happen to Burnaby? The answer, of course, is it's too late. It has already happened, but, you know, whatever. Too little, too late. Sure. The thing about the turtles, though, I mean, you know, yeah, humanity has a sordid history with rabbits. We love them, but we hate them. But turtles? What's this bias against turtles? No turtles. You cannot sell turtles. I don't know. Is this a case of like, well, you know, it's an indigenous species? Well, if it's not, it can turn into an invasive species. Maybe that's it. Are you guys like going to like the park and like freeing turtles by the bucket load or flushing them down the toilet or something like that? I mean, the real sadness to all of this is that I just know somewhere out there is some clerk who's going to read this the wrong way. It's going to be at a Sears outlet or something. They're going to read this the wrong way. They're going to take a pack of turtles, you know, those chocolate-covered caramel nut delights, and they're going to throw them in the garbage, putting good chocolate to waste because they couldn't finish reading the memo. Construction on the Highway 1 improvement project has reached yet another casualty as a truck that was being transported, it's called like a man lift. I don't know what exactly it's for, but it's got like the greatest name ever. Yes, this man lift anyways was crossing over the highway near the Brunette River. There was some soft soil and down she went, splashing down into the Brunette River. Luckily, the subcontractor working for Peter Kiewit Sons, Kiewit Flatiron, whatever, those guys doing the bridge thing, they were fast. They went down there. They had a containment area, but I mean, it's really depressing because this machine, this man lift, leaked diesel right into the salmon-bearing stream. Now, I know it's like near the end of the salmon run, but I mean, there was still salmon that could go up along there. And it's always distressing to, you know, because we try our best to be environmental and to improve the infrastructure, but all it takes is like some jack-off who's like driving a little too close to shoulder to like screw it up for everybody. And the thing that this actually reminds me to one of our first episodes here where you know, all that ice was falling off the new Port Mann Bridge and hitting cars and stuff, and everybody was pointing the fingers at Kiewit, and they were saying, "Yeah, you guys should have seen this coming." And they said, "Well, you know, the engineers who designed it, they just gave us the specs and we built it, and you know, we missed it." And then the provincial government, who was behind it the whole time, they said, "Yeah, it's Kiewit's fault." And this is basically how I envision Kiewit. Kiewit is like the big dummy, like the big boxing practice dummy thing that just always has to take the heat, that always has to stand there because they're the ones who are kind of in charge of the product. They have to stand there, and anytime something goes wrong, even though they're not technically at fault, they got to come out with the big boo-boo lips and the sad eyes and apologize profusely and have nobody accept the apology, because basically that's what happened, right? I mean, it's just like everyone's like, yeah, you're building up the highway? Oh, you want to dump some more diesel into our rivers? Yeah. It's just a rough... I feel really bad for the PR department for Kiewit. These guys honestly can't catch a break, because I do remind you it was a subcontractor. So with any luck, here's what I recommend to Kiewit. If these guys aren't taking proper precautions, you got to drop them as a subcontractor. I know you've done it before. Many construction companies have. You got to drop them, guys. That's basically how it is. Actually, you know what? I'd accept that before an apology. Instead of apologizing, saying, yeah, the subcontractor, we are terminating their working relationship with them. Boom! That's all you got to say. Guys at fault, we ain't paying them. The end. Burnaby resident Ryan Paul is starting an Indiegogo campaign. I suggest you look it up. It's for a shop called B-Bombshell. What's B-Bombshell, you ask? Well, he wants to have, in New Westminster, a geek chic salon. So we've all seen those hair salons where the middle-aged ladies are chatting and they got their hair in the beehive things and they're blathering on about how much their lives suck or whatever. Well, Ryan Paul wants to do one better. He wants people to come in and talk about Game of Thrones instead. He wants to have like video games. He wants to have nerd stuff. He wants to come in, have people, get their hair done, but also feel at home in a geeky sort of way. And you know what? Let's go to Indiegogo, the Indiegogo campaign right now. Let's look up the B-Bombshell endeavor. I'm going to find this link. I'm going to post this link right here. You have no excuse to not go check it out. Look at the perks that he's doing. Let's get this geek salon thing going, because quite frankly, it sounds awesome. To the gay population of Vancouver, what is going on? Yes, that's right. Metro Vancouver reports that there's a current health crisis in the gay population of Vancouver, and that health crisis revolves around syphilis. Yes, there is currently an epidemic of syphilis. A relatively easy to cure disease. You go in, you get your penicillin or your antibiotics, you get it done. But if left untreated, it actually migrates to the brain and eats through it like Swiss cheese. That's how you can go mad with syphilis. So easily treatable, but you don't know you have. A lot of times this disease, it goes without symptoms, so you don't have it unless you get yourself checked. Is there one huge orgy going on downtown? On Davie Street? Let me know. Is there a huge orgy? I will come down there and I will interview you guys and ask, after the orgy, why don't you guys go, have a mass drive to, the clinic to get checked or whatever. I'm not going to tell you guys what you can or can't do. And, if you put out more music like Scissor Sisters, more power to you. But syphilis, guys, syphilis. I mean, this is a disease that's curable. If you guys aren't checking yourselves or protecting yourselves against syphilis, what happens when an incurable disease starts making the rounds? So guys, get on it, please, okay? I mean, get on tracking if you have syphilis or not, because you're already getting on it. You're already on it. You're getting it and getting on it. But, I mean, when you get on it, after you get off it, get on get to the clinic and get checked for syphilis and anything else, please. Epidemic of syphilis. It's like the 19th century all over again. There may be good news for the Hollywood Theater down over in Vancouver. I don't want to make any promises, but we all know that it was going to be plowed over and have a gym put in its place. Yes, that's right, another gym, or even maybe condos. But it looks like the city of Vancouver has put a stay to the demolition project for the time being to assess the heritage value of the building. This doesn't necessarily mean the building will stay as a theater. What it does mean, though, is that they may preserve the building in some way so that the exterior and or the interior stays close to the way that it's been for the last few decades. So I don't want to get anyone's hope up, but you know what? The Hollywood Theater has been around a really long time. If this is a project you are passionate about, you should go and contact the city of Vancouver. Write them a letter. They love letters. Or write them an email, whatever. George Abbott, he's a great guy to contact about this. Go contact the city of Vancouver. If the Hollywood Theater is an important issue to you, go give them a contact right now. In the meantime, I'm going to link something called the Projection Project. I have a couple friends, Curtis and Samara, are photographers and have been really working hard in this field to showcase the beauty of old theaters. So I'm going to include a link here. and at the end too. If you want to go visit it, there are some absolutely lovely photographs they've taken. Yeah, you know what? The Hollywood Theater, guys, get involved if you can. So just when you thought that your expenses were already really, really high, I've got bad news to everybody. BC Hydro rates are going up. Woo! They're going up a lot. It's estimated that they're going up about 15.6% over 2014 and 2015, and then some further increments after that. Now, for most residents, you won't see that much of an increase. You'll still see it. But businesses are the ones that are going to be hit the hardest. I saw a lot of numbers being thrown around. If you want to look into it, be my guest. But I'm not going to bore you. But needless to say, businesses are going to be hit the hardest. If you have a business and you want electricity, you spoiled brats, you are going to pay significantly more for it. I saw something like it was like $719 increase for like an average business in BC. But needless to say, this, I want to slam BC Hydro about it, but it does seem that as part of the tabled budget, the government is actually taking a smaller cut, and that this money is actually used to refurbish older buildings and older facilities. Like they're wanting to put work into the dams and stuff. It's actually legitimately shocking because, and I like to rag on BC Ferries a lot because you look at them, and TransLink, you look at them, you're like, where's the money going? But BC Hydro actually has laid it out pretty well, saying here's what we want to do with the money. Less profit for us, less government take. It's going into the infrastructure to keep power coming in flowing into the homes and stuff like that. So it sucks for all of us. But I guess this just means we're just going to have to stay home watching TV instead of going to Vancouver Island and taking the train around town. Well, that is all the news we have for you this week, Vancouver. Please remember, I'm giving you to the end of December. Here is what you've got on the line. Once more, $100. I will feature the song here on Terminal City News. I'll feature the whole video, and I will also deliver that video to BC Ferries. Once again, I'm going to give it to them. I will film it. Hey, there might even be a video of me knocking on some door and handing them a DVD. Wouldn't you like to be that person? Syphilis.